I never really actually introduced myself. Yeah, I know I say it's Nick, Stills and Trails here, welcome to my flipping adventure in every video, but this is actually more of an introduction of me in my entirety. So it'll be on about my sort of goals, where I'm at with my past, achievements, and where I'm going to take this channel. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by how different I look. I've trimmed my beard down, cut my hair, tidied myself up a little bit. I thought it was about time I'd done that. The purpose of this video was actually to be a bit more personal with you guys and maybe get some experience, to share some experience with you, and hopefully you will share some experiences with me as well. I won't go too far into the past. Like I said, I had a fairly good upbringing in terms of, you know, I had a lot of fun. I went away on holidays. You know, overall, it was actually quite good. But I'm going to go on from mainly from sort of secondary school. You know, I had a bit of bullying back in the day, and as well as going into university then, where I actually found myself more as an adult. Now I always get people going to me going, was university worth it? And I'm going to actually do that in another video, so I'll keep that one as a bit of a cliffhanger for you on that one, but I will make a video in regards to university. I actually got a video that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, where I went back to go see a couple of my friends. We stayed on the campus. I've done a little tour of the campus. It's completely different from when I was there. A lot more depressing as such, I would say, because there was so many more students there when I was there. So getting back to the topic of this video, which is, well, myself and life in general. I've mentioned before, and I've obviously seen in a previous video, I do have a daughter. So yeah, it's been, you know, up and down for the past sort of, well, 2 years really, when you think about it, where my time management's had to change. I work full time, so this is more of a, I would say, sort of a hobby, sort of side thing which I do, but I really enjoy it. How are you guys at time management? I'm terrible at it when you think about it. I got a problem with, you know, just being able to sit back and do nothing. I spend a lot of time watching anime. You know, I really enjoy actually, but I got to be able to focus and shift my sort of time into YouTube, as well as being more proactive with my daughter. So I'm just gonna, you know, try and figure that out as I go along. While mentioning work and university, I actually studied ancient history in university, which a lot of people would say was a waste of time. I really enjoyed the course, to be honest. But I also enjoyed the student life a bit too much, so I could have done better with myself there. But I now bend steel for a living. I've gone through the route of being a recruitment consultant. I've actually done roof trusses in the past, so I used to be a sawyer, where I'd be on a big sort of saw machine and cutting up the timber ready for construction. But yeah, I had to overcome that in terms of trying something different, because I was very much office based. I was never really good with my hands, to be honest. They were very soft, but now they get a bit callousy. Yeah, I overcome that sort of trial, and it's the same with YouTube. Overcoming that day by day by, you know, getting slightly more accustomed to videoing myself, speaking to a camera, actually basically speaking to myself and to you guys, of course, but editing and yeah, just taking myself out of my comfort zone. It's one of those crazy things where university actually helped me with that. I was actually put out of my comfort zone. I don't understand when people go to university and they actually stay home. It's so much better to actually move there, stay on campus. You've got to manage your budget, you've got to manage your time, you've got to get up for yourself and cook for yourself and do your own washing. All those things are really important to be more of a well-rounded sort of adult. Not saying I'm fully well-rounded, of course. I got loads of issues and loads of problems, but it helped me start. I feel like I've achieved a fair bit in life. I've still got plenty to get on with though. A lot of people say to me, oh, you're quite well-rounded, you know, you're sort of responsible, which, you know, it's a very big question mark on that one. But at the same time, they just say, you know, you've overcome and achieved so much because he had passed. And well, I should say, yeah, well, so when I was 12, 13 years old, I actually lost my mum. I went through quite a big bout of bullying back in the day, and yeah, I found it sort of hard to fully integrate into groups of friendships, friendship groups I should say. But I slowly started coming out of my shell, and university really helped me with that. I'm quite a simple guy. A lot of people probably disagree with that, but a lot of people say I'm Marmite. You either like me or you really don't like me. I personally like Marmite though. But yeah, I'm quite a simple guy really. I have my sort of structure which I need in life. Hence why, I have no problem with working and being able to take one weekend out of every so to socialise and whatnot. I'm actually trying to cut down on the beer. Really need to start looking after myself a little bit more, and I thought the first start would be clearing my act of getting myself back into a reasonable presentation and just sort myself a little bit. It's probably why I'm doing this video, because I'm reflecting on how time is flying by. Just thinking about how quick this year's gone, let alone my 30s. I'm turning 36 in the next couple of days, and it's actually quite frightening how quick time's going. Have I achieved everything I've wanted to achieve at this time in life? No, far from it. I've done fairly well for myself. I got a fantastic family. I got a great daughter. I got a very good group of friends. Most of them would have my back about anything really, and a lot of them just help me out. Which is always a great thing. Everyone should really have friends like that. You always get someone asking you, would you change anything about your life? And my answer is no. Purely because I think it's quite a silly question to ask. You can, do a hypothetical but usually I think that makes things quite depressing, because you always think to yourself, I could have done this, I could have done that, I could be here instead of here. But at the end of the day, I'm always here. For me, I'm always here. I think I've done a lot in my life. I've said before, I've got great friends. Just even going back to university and seeing the guys, it made me nostalgic and gave me a lot of feel-good vibes about what the time I had there. It was great. I hope you enjoy the video when I show you it in the upcoming weeks. But for the channel alone, I would probably say a small target for me, even by the end of the year, is just making 100 subscribers. Couldn't really speak then. Because eventually the goal is to get monetized, but I'm in no rush. It's one of those ones of labour of love, enjoyment. As a hobby, I know some people, you can look on YouTube and everyone's like, oh, how to make a quick 1,000 subscribers in 3 days. And I'm like, I'm in no rush when it comes to that. I don't really want to force that sort of thing out there. So I'm trying to set myself a target of doing 3 videos a week, and they're going to be separate sort of niches in a way. So one of them is going to be topical, which is going to be the discussion ones, which will be done on Tuesdays. I'm going to have the sales, the thrifting on Thursdays, sort of sales, things I've picked up. Going to be getting back into the eBay. I've been saying that for a long time, but I need to go see an accountant just to make sure I got everything in place. I don't really want to have a big bill at the end of it. And the final one then is on Saturdays, which will be the walking videos. For as long as I got walking videos. When the weather gets really bad, I might have to just double dose up on the sales. But whenever I get a chance to get out there, I'll do a video. I've really grown to love making videos for this channel. The walking especially, being able to walk, get up in the morning, walk up in these mountains I got around my area. It's really good for a mental state, for the mind. And at the same time, some of the views we get around here are fantastic. The sales, yeah, I'm still into my sales. I do enjoy finding the items and the profit that can be there. It's just making sure I can take that extra little bit of time, because actually uploading and listing everything, that does take more time probably than editing the video itself. If you're new here, thanks for joining. If you've been here for a while, Let me know what your favorite video is and what your favorite genre is really on the niche. Is it the sales or is it the trails? Let me know what you think about this content, guys. I actually really wanted to be a little bit more sort of personable, a little bit more making it like a community and being able to share in this channel. So I'm going to keep this video quite short because a lot of the topics which I actually want to do in this video actually intertwine into quite a few other videos I want to do. So, you know, I have quite very non-lofty, very small goals in life, and some of them come into sort of finance sort of categories. I was going to do a small little video on not so much finance, but you know, how I've been able to achieve what I've been able to achieve so far. I know this is a bit out there and a bit of a change from the normal sort of sales and walk-in videos, but I thought I'd just sort of change it up a little bit. But thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, comment. I'm way more than interested to see what you guys are up to and how you feel you are in life at the moment. I think just being able to speak to people about it is actually, you know, great. It makes me feel a little bit better, even just being able to do this video alone. But like I said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.